Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is a B-movie review and I'll be having a look at the 1996 movie Bad Moon. So Bad Moon is actually based off a novel called Thor. No, not that Thor, this Thor. So this is a story in the novel of about a pet dog who basically protects a family against a werewolf. So we start with a prologue out in I think the Indian jungle, where we see sort of a group of explorers sort of camping down for the night, when suddenly they're attacked by a werewolf. Most of the party are killed, but Michael Paré is wounded rather than killed. Has a bite mark or a claw mark or something on him. Cut to America, and we have a young family, a single mother and her young son. The mother's played by Mariel Hemingway, and she's like a struggling single mother who is a lawyer. And it turns out Michael Paré is actually her brother, and he comes to visit after sort of being sort of estranged from the family for a little while. Now he has got a bit of a dark secret, and as you may have guessed, that's right, he's a werewolf. And he thinks basically he can't find a cure. He's trying to find a cure, and he thinks his last chance basically is the love of his family may be able to sort of somehow cure him from being the werewolf. And that, of course, doesn't stop him from becoming a werewolf. And of course, he turns into a werewolf not on a full moon, but pretty much every night, and causes trouble in the area, sort of killing and maiming as he goes along. And of course, this is putting his family at risk. And he basically tries to sort of go out in the woods as to not to sort of endanger his family. But the dog can kind of sense that something goes wrong, and he ultimately sort of he seems to be kind of losing his mind somewhat. Now, I won't go into too much of the plot just in case you haven't seen it from that point on. So let's talk a little bit about the film. So I actually think this is a pretty decent werewolf flick, to be honest with you. It kind of reminds me of almost a Steven Spielberg style film. It isn't, obviously, but it has that kind of feel from it. It's great. You've got a kid acting there, but he's quite, he's not an annoying kid. And obviously you've got the dog Thor as well, who is ultimately the hero of the story for this one. I've got to talk about a little bit about the acting. So we've got Mariel Hemingway playing sort of the mother, and I thought she did a really good job in this. Quite believable. It's this sort of like just this middle America single mother who really does sort of struggle in keeping her young son safe and away from the sort of terrors. Michael Paré, I've never thought he's had a particularly massive range, I have to say. I know he's got his fan base, but I never think he's a fan. He does an adequate job here, but he just plays pretty much the sort of same gruff character that he plays in pretty much every single film that he's in. I think the main issue I have with this film is actually the logic by Michael Parry's character. Now, it's obviously the writer's fault here. I just don't think the logic of, if he can't find a cure anywhere in the world, he somehow thinks the love of his family is going to make him back into a normal person. And why put your family at risk? Why would you do that? And I also didn't really understand his motivations when he was actually there, because he kind of seemed like he genuinely cared for his family, but at the same time he was kind of menacing towards them at the same time. So I didn't really know where he was coming from, to be honest with you, with this situation. So I think that was very unclear in this film. Now, I've not read the novel, so I don't know if that's actually a fact there. And anyone who has read the novel wouldn't mind you if you cleared that up for me. But as I say, the main issue is that sort of logic in regards to his character. I just have no idea where he's coming from, and I don't know what his motivations are. Does he want to hurt his family, or doesn't he? The werewolf effects here. So this was made in 1996, and this is kind of where we had the sort of the kind of this morphing technology sort of come in, and the werewolf sort of transformations, they use a kind of morphing technique, which I think looks crap, I have to say. Now, obviously, this is in 1996, and these days when you look at it, I think it looks pretty bad. I never thought it looked particularly fantastic in the first place, but the actual morphing into a werewolf, it's noticeably, it happens too fast, and it just doesn't look very good. It looks obviously just from on a computer. Transformed into a werewolf, they use practical effects, and I actually think, in a lot of ways, this is one of the best looking werewolves I've seen on film for a limited budget. Now, yes, he does kind of move and kind of a little bit of a sort of He's obviously a guy in a kind of like a big werewolf mask and stuff, but it's like real ferociousness about him, and you know, I liked it. He's maybe a bit, maybe his neck doesn't quite move as naturally as it, you know, you would do if you were an actual living organism. But I actually think it looks pretty decent. He's got a fantastic face, and his jaws like open really wide, and looks quite terrifying. And there's I love the climax of this. So I think it's got one of the best climaxes of some of these low budget films. Really enjoyable. And if you're an animal lover, you know, the dog here is fantastic. I have to say, sort of this dog that sort of gets protective of this family, and kind of, you know, the guy who's a werewolf kind of knows it and tries to sort of take him out of commission. Really good film for a kind of low budget film. Yeah, it had got a couple of, as I say, issues with it. Maybe I don't think maybe some of the effects. Although I like the werewolf, you kind of can tell it's a model, and I have to say that the morphing is fantastic. The acting for the most part is good. Michael Paré, I don't think he's a very good actor anyway. So I'm going to give this film a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. If you like your werewolf films and you can kind of get past, obviously, it's, you know, it is getting on a bit now, check this film out because you won't be disappointed. Lots of action, really good story, and not your kind of typical sort of story that you sort of see in the Sci-Fi Channel. A little bit more of an original one here, probably because it's based on a novel more than anything else. Go check it out. Let me know what you think. 7 out of 10 for me. Bye for now.